doing about?
Hey, I appreciate you taking some time out here today with me. How's things going? Brand new UFC fighter. Anything has changed in your life?
Not necessarily. Let me fix this. My fault. Let me get this right. So it can be
You're
legal.
good.
But no, not necessarily, brother. I would say overall, it's been more the fact that a lot more obligations. Talking to a lot more people, doing a lot of different things to signing things, taking pictures, speaking. So those type of things have obviously elevated volume wise, but in terms of work and training, it's still me. I don't change, for nobody. I do what's best for me and to continue to be the best that I could possibly be every time I step in that cage.
Yeah, I mean, you're coming off arguably the best performance of your entire career. From what I've watched from you in the past, before the Contender Series leading up to now, that was honestly an amazing performance. And I just want to know your emotions getting such a big win, knowing that, you're the only person in Contender Series history to win three fights on the show. And, I just want to know your emotions getting that big win and finally getting the praise that you deserve from Dana White and getting that UFC contract.
Yeah. So, like going in, if anybody listened to a lot of the interviews I had beforehand, but the things were still the same. I kept saying it's not so much of me. Yes, obviously the ultimate goal is to go in and get that contract, but the ultimate goal for me is to get the win. And that's the main thing. And like every fight, I want it to look like that. Every fight, I want to go out there and dominate and get the finish. Obviously, some fights poses them different problems than others. So you have to respect that. And also, I'm happy to be one of the only guy ever to be 3-0 in the Contender Series. That is an honor. In a way, it's not a record you necessarily want, but it's a record we're happy to take, because that means, heck, if I'm 3-0, that means I got 3 victories under my belt. And yeah, it's one of those things where, you just continue to keep going through. You see a lot of different things like trial and error of people going through trials and tribulations of how growth of doing things like in the fight game, overcoming adversity, going through like hard times, struggles. And I think I had opportunities for the entire world to see it live action. I mean, you see me fight 3 times, you've seen the announcement 3 times. So I think those type of things people can see and say, oh, I just saw that in live time. And hopefully is inspire other people to, you never give up on your dreams.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you're definitely inspiration to many, especially a lot of, aspiring, fighters, the young generation that's trying to come up. And, you took the long road, the hard road. And I was wondering, did you have any doubt at any time that you weren't going to be able to make it to the UFC? Because, even after a dominant performance in your first fight, and then another dominant performance in your second fight, you still weren't able to get the contract. But did you have any kind of doubt in your mind that you weren't be able to make it?
Doubt. It did definitely start to creep in. But it was more the fact that okay, I just have another route to go. I was up in the air with signing with another promotion. It was literally on the verge of doing that, and I thought that was just gonna be my path. I really did. I thought I'll just go somewhere else, make money, do my thing. But opportunity arises, and that's where I believe that God still has something in plan. Because the day I was about to sign to that other promotion, I get the call. I get the call from my management team, and they're like, they want you back in 4 weeks, but another opportunity. And I'm like, what in the world? So it's wild to think about. It's wild to hear and see, but never thought it would be this path. I see my teammate Trevor Peak. What's funny is we both got the Contender Series opportunity, both at 6-0. So I'm thinking I go in at 6-0. I got to finish in the second round. Very similar to how he got to finish in the second round. After losing the first round the same way I lost the first round of my first Contender Series fight, I'm thinking, okay, our route's going to be similar. But you see that in the fight game, man. Like, no matter who you might pattern your career after, who you might pattern your style of fight, your career will never go the same. You have to make sure it's going to be in your own dynamic way. And I feel like for me personally, the way my careers went, it's better off for me in that fashion, of like people become obviously memorable of knowing me, before I step into the cage. I feel like people have gotten a good generalization of what Torrez Finney brings to the cage and things. So my career definitely has went a path that I didn't think it would definitely go in this type of faction, but I'm definitely not disappointed in it going this way. I'm very happy that it went this way because now I'm tested, I'm tried, and I feel like I'm going to be prepared for anything I see obstacle-wise in front of me.
Well, it's a good thing that you didn't go and sign with another promotion because then we wouldn't be able to see you on, the biggest stage in MMA. You bring a lot of things to the table, excitement inside and outside of the cage, and you talk very well on the mic as well. That's I feel like that's a big part of MMA as well as not just the fighting, is also how you can market yourself. And do you believe that, that marketability is really going to help you rise in this, in this sport and in the UFC a lot faster than other people would?
I can definitely see that. Obviously, starting off on a good foot, being the first to be 3-0 on the show, like I said, and in a way I understand, like some people's like, oh, that's not, I hear from some, obviously a lot of people like congratulate it, but I hear from some like, is that really a good thing? And you think about it, maybe, maybe not, but it's something that's obviously somebody never done it, and it's obviously in a positive way because it's winning. And obviously you see me win 3 different ways. You will see me win by submission, knockout, and this. So obviously you see that I can do it, and I've won obviously in every single round. I've won in the second, first, and third round. So you obviously see me do it in every type of fashion on that type of stage. So I do definitely feel like it has its pros towards it, and I think it's something that the fans can be amongst. I've already been hearing, when's your debut? When's your debut? When's your debut? And like, that's one of those things we don't know yet. So, but we continue to train to be prepared. Like I said, I got to heal up off some of these nicks and bumps and bruises, from the last 2 camps, because I basically had a back-to-back camp. I fought twice in the span of 6 weeks. So to have that type of thing to go through it, I'm ready. I would love to get back in there soon. But obviously, got to let the body heal, got to heal up so you can have the best performance that you can possibly have when you step back into the cage the next time.
What is a realistic timeline for you to possibly make a UFC debut? I know it depends on what the UFC kind of offers you, but if you had to choose a time of when you'd like to, step in there and make your debut, what is a good timeline for you?
Personally, I feel like the best timeline for me is around the first week in first part of the year.
Okay.
Maybe late Feb or March, around that time, get the year off, kicking off the year strong, start the year off in camp. We got Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up, let me enjoy this a little bit with my fam.
Yeah.
And, when January and February hits, it's time to get rolling, man. So right now I'm already doing some things, skill set wise, skill development. That's the main thing I'm focusing on right now. I'm just getting myself better overall. But after that, we're ready to get going. So that's one of the main things, and I think we're going to continue to get better at that.
If you had to choose, what fight would benefit you in your UFC debut? If you had to choose like a fighter that you think would be able to bring out the best in yourself and to showcase for the world that haven't really watched Contender Series, like what kind of fight would be best for you in your debut fight?
That's an interesting question. I feel like I'm big on being strategic. So it just depends on whatever I get. I'll just guarantee this: like whoever I'm fighting, we're gonna have the best game plan to go out there and get the win. Whatever that may be, whatever is necessary to win the fight, that is what matters the most to me. So in every fight, I would love to go out there and obviously get guys out of their first round. Sometimes it might take second, sometimes it may take a third, it may take a decision. Like whatever it may be deemed to win that fight, we're gonna do every single thing to the T to make sure we go out there and be able to do it. And yes, like obviously everybody wants to try to have the perfect fight. I feel like I still haven't had the perfect fight, and I want to go out there and try my best to be as close. I feel like the closest literally was my last Contender Series fight. That's about the closest I could have probably had a perfect fight. Like, yeah, like I feel like the perfect fight would have been if I would have finished that submission. But as crazy as it sounds, I'm actually happy I didn't. I'm happy I did it by ground and pound, so I can get like the trifecta ways of winning. So, it's like pros and cons to it. But like, I feel like I still haven't had the perfect fight, so I feel like I'm going to always be chasing that. And as long as I'm continuing to chase that, I feel like I can continue to chase, trying my best to be as be the best that I could possibly be every time I step into the cage.
Yeah, I mean, the sky's the limit for you. You were able to do it all. You're honestly going to be one of the more exciting fighters whenever you're inside of the cage, and I don't think you're ever going to have a boring fight. And what do the fans, would you want the fans to think of you whenever you kind of, step inside the cage?
I want them to think of a bruising, explosive, come forward type fighter with relentless pressure and devastating power. I am really confident in my skill set, and I just know that what I bring to the table is going to be a lot different. I just feel like even with just the way my anatomy is built is different. You don't see no short guy with very long arms. I know you got Volkanovski, but that's in a lower weight class, not in the middleweight division in that type
Yeah.
of way. And then, I just feel like what I bring to the table is different, man. And we've seen variety of it, but I feel like what I'm going to do is just going to be a little bit different. And I just think that's the excitement factor in itself. And just the will to win, man. It's like I always tell people, man, it's like you got to kill me to get me out of there. So you got to put me all the way out, or I'm never gonna quit. I could be hurting, I could be tired, I could be near death, but I'm never gonna quit. So that's one of those things that I just feel like those qualities is something that you just can't teach. You just got to have it within, and I think that's one of those things that's going to help me carry on being very strong. I feel like the fact that I even got to the UFC, especially through the route that I've got there through, just shows even just a taste of that. So I've been overcoming adversity my entire life, and I think every time I step into the cage, you're going to see a guy that fights with a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, and before I let you go, I wanted to know, do you have a message for all your fans out there, new fans that are going to be coming, fans that you already have, fans that are just going to want to see you fight? Do you have a message for them?
One, I want to say I thank everyone that do all the support, all the love, and all the hate. I love it all, man. I thank you very much. I get a good laugh out of people that send me like some hate messages here and there for some reason, but I love it. It's funny to me. So, but I love every single one of y'all, and thank you very much. And we're going to continue to grow on this journey. I'm glad y'all on this journey with me. I'm glad the whole world will get a chance to see this entire journey with me. But this is just the start of it. This is the start of a new chapter. I said I was closing that Dana White Contender chapter one way or another that last fight, and this is for sure the start of a new one. And let's get this thing going. We got a long book in this one, so I'm excited and ready to go.